Hello, I'm Tracy Pierce. Thanks for joining me for this Live with the Animals video series. So this video series started back in March of 2020 and was really, based on what was happening here in the United States with regards to the pandemic. Lots of shelter-in-place orders were being issued, different measures of quarantine were coming into place, and life just looked really different than it did before March 2020 here in the United States. And I became really curious what the animals thought about this whole situation. And they started to encourage me to start this live streaming video series, talking with the animals and giving them a voice and a platform to share their vision and their wisdom with the world. So that's what we're doing here today. So today our guests are a flock of Guineas. So this is a flock of Guineas that lives out at a ranch that I visit sometimes. And one of the things they're really known for is the weird sounds that they make. So I have a little video here, hopefully this will work, that I can play for you. So yeah, check out the Guinea sounds. All right, so that is what the guineas sound like. It can be very sharp and penetrating, the sound that they're making. So we are going to tune in and see what these guineas would have to tell us today. So if you're joining me live, you can type in any questions you might have for the guineas. If you're live with me on Zoom, type it into the chat. If you're live with me on Facebook, just type it into the comments section. So I'm just going to get quiet here and start tuning into the guineas and see what they would like to share with us today. So I feel this one directly behind me. Let's see if I can point correctly. This one right here kind of coming forward. It's showing how it's almost like replaying those guinea sounds that we just heard. There's a certain amount of pride it's showing in the sounds that it makes. Yeah, it's showing its voice almost like a trumpet or something, like that kind of horn. This is how we announce ourselves. This is how we make ourselves seen and heard. Yeah, it keeps showing the a trumpet type instrument. So what the Guinea is showing me is, like you see with kings or royalty, especially of days far gone, where they have the little trumpeter that announces somebody's arrival. And the Guinea is showing there's a similar kind of thing with its voice. Is there something else that you're trying to convey besides just announcing your presence, or is there something else you want to say about your voice? So the Guineas is saying this is a message that is somewhat specifically for me, but it could apply to other people as well. The Guinea is reminding me of the conversations that we had with the magpie a while ago about, even if people or others think that your voice is annoying or irrational even, or grating, that's just too bad. If you have something to say, there is something about saying it, no matter what others may say or judge you for. I start to feel this something happening in my own throat, kind of like a clamping down almost of if you don't speak up, there is this clamping in the throat that happens. Yeah, so there's this message about not being concerned, that, you know, because other people are going to judge you no matter what you do or say. Like, there's no way you're going to please everybody. Yeah, so the bird's saying, well, we know that we are eventually, we anticipate being eaten as meat. And so we are helpful to, you know, to humans, to others in some respect. She's like, well, maybe we might get eaten by a coyote or some other kind of predator animal before that. But so like we are already giving something to humanity or to others through us being meat. There's something about, so we get to speak up and say what we want. Did I translate that correctly? I feel like I might have missed something there. Always being concerned about how you come across to people or others. Like this is about more than just people. um, but there, like if there's an obsession with always needing for every single part of you to be perfect, there's going to be a problem, is essentially what it's saying. um, I'm not self-conscious about my voice. It's the way it is. I know that some other animals or and humans like think it's grating and annoying, but that's the way I am, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Okay. Is there something else that you want to share with us, either about your voice or speaking up, or anything else? Maybe about being a guinea or what it's like to live on the ranch where you live. So this bird is telling me it sees itself as kind of the leader of the group, of the flock, if you will. Showing there's like it's an energetic thing. I'm not sure if this bird is male or female. Do you want to tell me that? Sometimes I'm really bad at telling gender in animals. Saying that gender isn't important in this particular circumstance. Like the gender as far as who is kind of the leader of the group isn't always important, is what this bird is saying. Okay. That's interesting to me. I guess I would assume that it's one way or another. Um, so it's showing me how it's almost like, gosh, how even to describe it? It's like this one bird is energetically holding the whole flock. Um, it's almost like there's this central energetic point that's kind of being held. It almost feels like in the inside the head of this bird, sort of in the middle of the head, but it also feels like it could be kind of coming from the center of the heart. And it's showing how it feels like a telepathic communication kind of web, almost is what it feels like to me. But it's like this web that's holding the whole flock together. So like it's showing how they kind of move as a group, and it's almost like this energetic web that holds them together is causing them to move. And this one bird is showing me how it is kind of in the center, like controlling the whole flock there, it seems like. So it does say like sometimes they'll split into two separate groups. You know, I'm not sure how many of these guineas there actually are on the ranch, because like they're running around at different times. Um, I'm not sure I've seen them all together. I'm not sure. Um, so this bird is showing how sometimes they will all come together, all the big group of them, but then they do kind of split off into to smaller groups sometimes. Okay, do you want to tell us more about that, like why that is, or it's kind of like dancing, like ballroom dancing is what it's showing how, sometimes you're all in one big ballroom. Like it's kind of showing like sometimes we might all be in the goat area or something and we're all kind of together and moving around, but then can be like separate groups that pull off. It's just like they have like, hey, let's go over here and look at this other thing. Um, okay. Is there more you want to tell us about that? No, it's just kind of how we are. If you want to know, okay. Just taking a second to check for any questions we might have for our guinea friends. I'm not seeing any. All right, so is there anything else that you want to tell us about you, any guinea wisdom that you want to impart to our viewers? Anything else you want to tell us about you? So this bird is saying there's a real simplicity about our lives. Um, for some reason, it's kind of comparing it to surfing, which seems weird. I'm surprised Kenny's know what surfing is. Um, but I hear like ocean sounds of, there's this similar kind of feeling of them walking the property of the ranch as there is of like a surfer riding the waves. It's really about nature, is what the Guinea says. Um, we have to always be riding the waves of Mother Nature, whatever she happens to bring us. Yeah, she's showing like there is, hmm. We always want the ride to be gentle, like showing we always want that gentle ride on the surf coming in if we're surfing. But sometimes it's showing like, oh, the waves can be big and choppy. And there is a way the Guinea is showing of it's like keeping my energy really soft so that I can like flow and navigate with whatever the waves might do. I feel like I keep seeing this image of like a coyote coming in. Is there something with regards to that as well with predator animals or? Well, yes, we're obviously prey animals, so we're always aware that at any moment we could be eaten. Like it isn't just humans that want to eat us. There are plenty of other predators that could come and snatch us. So the Guinea is showing like, it's almost like this 360-degree vision almost. And it does feel like it's coming from inside the center of the Guinea's head again. It's like almost this kind of radar system spreading out its energy, looking from 360 degrees around, watching for predators. Like there's always this sort of like low level awareness that there could be an attack. But the Guinea is also showing like, but I'm not clenching my energy. I'm not putting my energy in an attack mode kind of thing. Like it's a very relaxed kind of watching. Okay, I feel like there's more there. Could you expand or show me more about that, please? Yes, we're always watching and on alert, but we're not contracting our energy in a way that's, what like your nervous system is going into a fight or flight kind of situation. We've had to learn like prey animals have this way of, we have to be alert and watching, but if we were like clenched and oh my gosh, you know, anything can hurt us at any moment, like if our energy was like that all the time, then that would be our whole life. Like we wouldn't do any wandering around or eat, and we wouldn't live very long if that's the way our situation was. So we've learned, and this bird is saying this is true of most, in its opinion, prey animals. um, like we have to learn to be okay with, you know what, we are potentially fragile and we could potentially be eaten and die at any moment. And this is just a reality of nature, is what this guinea is saying. Like, humans want to believe we have some kind of control over our lives, or something like this. But the bird's saying it's not that you're exactly prey, that humans are exactly prey animals in the same way that we are, but there are lots of dangers to humans. It's showing like being attacked by bigger animals. You know, most of us aren't exposed to them on a daily basis, but you know, like bears or lions, things like this out in the wild. Saying how even coronavirus made us humans a bit more aware of how vulnerable we might still be to wildlife. The Guineas showing like how many animals came down in my area anyway, like out of the mountains, mountain lions and other kinds of predator animals that came down out of the mountains during coronavirus lockdowns, and the wildfires too. Um, yeah, showing how, yes, humans are predators in many ways. You know, many of us do eat meat, or um, but we could just as likely be eaten, is what the Guinea is saying. A lot of us don't want to believe that or think that's not true. We think we're safe in our homes or whatever, but I get what you're saying for sure. Is there more you want to say about like, do you have any advice for us humans about holding our own energy with, you know, regards to what you're saying? I mean, I know it's really unhealthy for us. I've certainly been in this at certain points in my life, to always be like on guard and looking, and it's really like hard on the nervous system. But at the same time, it can be really difficult to let go of that graspiness or the protectiveness that we feel that really like protects us. Do you have any advice about how we can soften our energy, or be more in this kind of state, this flow state that you're talking about? Well, the first thing is awareness. Like, most people, the Guinea is saying, aren't aware the way that they kind of crunch down or hold, or kind of have this fighting warrior energy out front. So it's something we have to become aware of first. Okay, do you have any advice about how to do that? Well, a lot of it is just paying attention, is what the Guinea says. Sometimes we're so busy just getting things done that we don't pay attention to how we're really feeling. It could be as simple as like taking a pause and tuning into your body. There's a lot of wisdom in the physical body, is what the Guinea is saying. Like, we're paying attention. So it's showing again that it's almost like a little awareness node or something right in the center of its head. So it's showing that again, like spreading out and watching. And there is something about like pausing and watching from inside yourself what's actually happening. Okay, I feel like I might have missed something there. Is there is there more to that you want to share, or that I missed? So yeah, again, it's saying bringing the awareness to the body. So it's showing the awareness spreading from that center point of the head. And it's almost like when that energetic thing receives a signal, bing, like danger. It's like the nervous system kind of reacts. And so it's showing how we do have this ability to, it's not control our nervous systems necessarily, but to help be more in harmony with it. So this Guinea is really suggesting like learning more about the science of how our nervous systems work. It's saying I feel like I'm not quite explaining things in a way that people might be able to understand. Or maybe Tracy, I'm not translating it correctly or well enough. Is there something else that you want to say about nervous systems, like human nervous systems or you guys' nervous systems? So I was saying humans, we're quite disengaged from how our nervous systems work. Like we just let them kind of do their thing, which of course is appropriate if it was working correctly. But yeah, the Guinea is really just encouraging us to find ways to, maybe this may be different kinds of somatic practitioners or practices or reading. Like I'm hearing all these names of somatic people who work with nervous systems, like Irene Lyon, Peter Levine. Yeah, there's just something, I don't know if I'm not able to translate this correctly, or somehow I'm just not quite catching 100% what this Guinea is sharing about the nervous system, beyond us learning more about it and becoming more in touch with our own and the responses it's having. Okay. All right, my little Guinea friend. Well, we're kind of coming to the end of our time. I wonder if there's anything else you would like to be sure to tell our listeners, or anything else you want to share with us today before we wrap up the session. We do like it when people come to visit us at the ranch. Like, it's one of the reasons we make noise is to draw attention to ourselves when visitors come. We like it when people look at us and think, whoa, they're kind of strange and odd looking. What is that? Like there is something, there is like an owning of like the birds, they feel like to humans, they look a little strange, and but they kind of like that attention. They like that they're looking at them. We're not trying to live up to some kind of human beauty standards, is what this guy says. Well, thank you so much, my Guinea friend, for sharing your wisdom with us here today. And thanks so much to all of our viewers for joining us. These sessions are always so much fun to do. I hope you join us again sometime. And until next time, take care and be well.